I never imagined that one ordinary evening could expose everything I had been pretending not to notice about my marriage. My husband had invited his old best friend, Ryan, over for dinner. It was supposed to be harmless, just two old friends catching up. But when Ryan ended up staying the night, something happened between us that neither of us had expected. And by the time the sun came up, I knew my marriage could never go back to the way it had been. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, would you trust your spouse alone with their best friend overnight? And if you enjoy emotional relationship stories, subscribe for more. Now, let me take you back to the beginning. My name is Claire. I had been married to Michael for 16 years. From the outside, we looked like one of those couples who had everything figured out. We had a comfortable house, a stable life, two grown children who had recently moved away, and a kitchen table where we had shared thousands of meals. But there was something nobody saw. We had slowly stopped talking, not fighting, not arguing, just talking. Our conversations had become practical. Did you pay the electricity bill? What time are you coming home? Can you pick up some groceries? Did you call your mother? That was our marriage. Efficient, comfortable, quiet. And I had convinced myself that quiet was normal after 16 years. Then Ryan came back. Michael hadn't seen him in almost 12 years. They had been inseparable when they were younger. Then Ryan moved away for work, married, divorced, and eventually disappeared from everyone's lives. One Friday afternoon, Michael called me. Ryan is in town. I remember smiling. Ryan? Yeah, he wants to catch up. Then invite him for dinner. Michael hesitated. He might stay late. I laughed. Then we'll make coffee. I didn't think anything of it. That evening, Ryan arrived around 7. The moment I opened the door, he smiled. Claire? I nodded. It's been a long time. He looked at me for a second, not in an inappropriate way, just surprised. You haven't changed. I laughed. That is definitely not true. Michael appeared behind me. She still argues about everything. I looked at him. See? Ryan laughed. And somehow, within minutes, the house felt different, lighter. Ryan remembered things about Michael that I had completely forgotten. Old road trips, college disasters, ridiculous stories from before I had even met my husband. We ate dinner around the table. We laughed. We talked. And for the first time in months, I saw Michael laughing the way he used to. That made me happy. But then Ryan turned to me. You know, Michael always talked about you. I looked at my husband. He did. Michael shrugged. Of course. Ryan smiled. He was completely obsessed with you. I laughed. That doesn't sound like the Michael I know. Ryan looked at him. That's because you stopped telling her things. The room went quiet. Michael stared at his plate. I looked at him. What does that mean? Ryan immediately changed the subject. But the sentence stayed with me. After dinner, the three of us sat in the living room. Around midnight, Michael received a phone call. His mother's car had broken down several towns away. He stood up immediately. I need to go help her. I nodded. Of course. Then he looked at Ryan. You can stay here. Ryan hesitated. Are you sure? It's fine. Michael looked at me. Right. I smiled. Of course. And then my husband left. Just like that. Ryan and I were alone. The house became strangely quiet. He looked uncomfortable. I can get a hotel. You don't need to. I don't want to make things awkward. You're Michael's best friend. He smiled. That's exactly why I'm worried. I laughed. We talked for another hour. Nothing romantic. Nothing inappropriate. Just two people remembering the past. Then Ryan asked me something I wasn't prepared for. Are you happy? I looked at him. What kind of question is that? A simple one. I smiled. Of course. He didn't respond. He just nodded. Then he said, You answered too quickly. That sentence hit me harder than it should have, because I knew what he meant. I had answered automatically, the way people answer questions they don't want to examine. I looked away. Marriage changes. I know. People change. I know that too. Then why are you asking? Ryan looked at me. Because Michael used to talk about you like you were the most interesting person he'd ever met. I swallowed. And now, Ryan sighed. Now he talks about everything except you. I didn't know what to say. We sat in silence. Then Ryan stood. You should sleep? I nodded, but I couldn't. Not after that conversation. Around 2 in the morning, I walked downstairs for water. The living room light was on. Ryan was sitting on the sofa. You're awake too? He smiled. Apparently. I sat in the chair across from him. Neither of us spoke for a while. Then Ryan said, I'm going to tell you something, and you might hate me for it. What? Michael is terrified of losing you. I laughed sadly. He has a strange way of showing it. Ryan nodded. He knows. I looked at him. What does that mean? He told me tonight. My heart started beating faster. What did he say? Ryan looked toward the window. He said, he feels like you're slipping away. I stared at him. Michael had never said anything like that to me. Not once. Ryan continued. He thinks you don't need him anymore. I felt tears forming. That isn't true. I know. Then why hasn't he talked to me? Because he's Michael. I laughed through my tears. That was probably the most accurate explanation anyone could have given. Then Ryan said something unexpected. I'm not here to come between you. I looked at him. I know. I mean it. He leaned forward. You two still love each other. I didn't answer, because suddenly I wasn't sure. Not because I didn't love Michael, but because I had forgotten what love was supposed to feel like. Ryan stood up. You should tell him. Tell him what? That you're lonely. Those words broke something inside me, because they were true. I had been lonely while sitting beside my husband, and somehow I had never said it out loud. When Michael finally returned before sunrise, I was sitting at the kitchen table. He looked exhausted. Is everything okay? I nodded. Your mother? She'll be fine. He looked toward Ryan. Did you sleep? Ryan smiled. Not much. Michael laughed. Neither did I. Then he noticed my face. What happened? I looked at him. We need to talk. He froze. Ryan quietly stood. I'll give you two some privacy. Before leaving, he looked at Michael, then at me, and said, Don't waste this. The front door closed. Michael sat across from me. For the first time in years, I told my husband the truth. I've been lonely. He looked down, then whispered, So have I. And that was the moment everything changed. Not because Ryan had come between us, because he had forced us to look at what we had both been avoiding. Michael reached across the table. I thought you were happy. I thought you were. He smiled sadly. I didn't know how to tell you I was scared. Scared of what? Of waking up one day and realizing you'd outgrown me. I took his hand. You should have told me. I know. We sat there holding hands. No dramatic promises. No perfect solution. Just honesty. And somehow, that felt more intimate than anything else. Ryan left later that morning. Before he got into his car, he turned to me. You okay? I nodded. For the first time in a while. He smiled. Good. Then he looked at Michael. Take care of her. Michael smiled. I will. Ryan drove away, and I watched until his car disappeared around the corner. For a moment, I wondered what might have happened if the night had gone differently. But then I realized something. Ryan wasn't the temptation. He was the mirror. He showed me what my marriage had become. And more importantly, he showed me what it could still become. That evening, Michael and I sat at the kitchen table again. The same table, the same chairs, the same house. But the conversation was different. We talked for hours. About things we had forgotten. About dreams we'd abandoned. About places we wanted to visit. About the people we'd become. And sometime around midnight, Michael looked at me and said, I miss you. I smiled. I've been right here. I know. He squeezed my hand. I just forgot how to see you. I think that was the most honest thing my husband had ever said to me. Months later, we took our first trip together in years. Just the two of us. No work, no children, no responsibilities. Just us. And somewhere on that trip, I realized something. Sometimes a marriage doesn't end because two people stop loving each other. Sometimes it suffers because two people stop paying attention. We have been living beside each other instead of with each other. And one unexpected overnight visit had forced us to wake up. Ryan never became part of our marriage. He didn't need to. His purpose had already been fulfilled. He reminded us of something we have forgotten. Love doesn't always disappear. Sometimes it simply gets buried beneath routine. And sometimes, all it takes is one unexpected person, one honest conversation, and one long night to make two people finally look at each other again. CTA, what would you have done if you were in Claire's position? Would you have trusted Ryan, or would you have asked him to leave? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And if this story touched you, subscribe for more emotional relationship stories.